there's our beautiful cameraman. That's me. We're going to be recording. Oh well, I'm going to be using my Mav to overwatch a training operation sort of thing with Milsim. We've got the General Connors and some of his guys, and I think there's also a couple of 116th. I don't know, but they're going to be taking that convoy and trying to get to the objective D on Kharg Island. Meanwhile, Rother and the 22nd and a couple of other guys are going to be trying to stop them. We're going to see how this goes, but they're messing around at the moment while we're waiting. But I'm going to be using the Mav to watch them, and I'm not going to give the positions away or anything like that. This is only for cameraman stuff. I'm not actually helping them. But here they're going to begin moving out here. They're going to obviously take it slow. They're going to have a lead car. The lead car has a driver and a gunner. The back car has a driver and a gunner, and the tank has a driver and a gunner. So 6 of them, and there's about 6 of the other team. I think it's 6v6. I think there was. But yeah, they're going to be doing a. They're going to be moving out any second now, and they've got to try and get 2D without, preferably with the convoy. I don't know exactly. They didn't. Obviously, it's a training on, so it wasn't super serious what the criteria for win or lose was. But I'm gonna tell you right now the fact that you'll be able to tell. It's gonna be pretty clear. But yeah, they were like talking about how their strategy, like some of them were talking about how they were going to move around one side, and some were talking about how they were going to move around another way. But yeah, they were getting moving out now. Obviously there's a lot of good ambush spots on this map. There's a lot of good rock formations on the side of roads they're going to have to watch out for. They're going to take it relatively slowly. They're following the roads. They didn't try and go off road or anything. Obviously they're here. Initially the gunner's just checking, seeing if they can mark any mines or anything. The 22nd, who are on the other team, are very good at doing all this ambushing terroristy stuff. They're very good at it, and I will admit I've been with the 22nd for a while, and I know they're very good at this, and I was very proud of them with them for this training op. I think they did extremely well. They did have a couple of guys that weren't in the 22nd with them, which also did good jobs, but you know, some of them, most of the people that died on their team were the people that weren't in 22nd. But anyway, the Connors' guys does very good. See, like there, he's trying to disarm the explosives, but he gets caught out there. They see there's more explosives on the other side here, so the driver's going to go around. They're going to move out now, because they're trying not to stay around, because they're worried about there being an ambush there. But they just had to quickly clear the explosives. Collins is going to get out here and try and disarm these mines, but he's just making sure that there's no RPGs about to incoming. So he's just quickly having a look around. The gunner on that one got out. I mean, the driver on that front truck got out to cover him, which is good tactics. He's now going to come up and pick up this mine, just to make sure the road's completely clear. And he's going to go check. He said he's going to go check the rocks, which I think was a very risky move to go off by himself like that and try and check the rocks. But he gets out of the mine and begins to head back to the convoy. And then they begin moving out. They're taking it obviously relatively safely here as they're coming up to the second part of the ambushes, which is ambushes. Second section of the ambushes here, which is going to be very, very good. I'm going to tell you that now. It's going to be absolutely amazing. So they're at the second part now. Here they're coming up to it. As you can see on the top middle there, you can see the white dots, life signatures. There's Ruther's got his guys on the roof over there. They've got some guys down on the left moving around. They spotted the mines, so they're stopping for the mines. Ruther and his guys are slowly getting into position. Their plan is to instantly try and get the tank out of the game as quickly as possible. Connors here is looking around a bit, having a little peek, seeing if there's anyone like nearby. Ruther and his guys hide very well here. They did a very good job of it. Connors was very tempted to just avoid the mines completely and take the second road. But obviously his guys were, they had to take this road. It's kind of like they're mandatory. See, he turns there, but then he goes back. But then, as they're getting their guys out, it gets nailed by 2 RPGs there. I don't know, I think it could be 3. But it nails by 2 RPGs. They notice that there's guys on the back roof. They nail one of them. Those RPGs over there are coming in hard. He's nailing some of the guys with their machine guns. They're getting those RPGs into the tank. They're trying to take it out as quickly as possible. The gunners on the sides are trying to lay down fire, but there's just Ruther there getting a good RPG on the front run, taking out that gunner. The second truck takes a RPG but is still operating. The second RPG takes the back truck out. Connors is trying to keep the tank alive. Ace spawns on him, gets into the gunner's seat here and tries to get some fire out, but there's just too many RPGs hitting that truck. Connors is trying to get some of the trucks operating again, try and get the machine guns working again, but they run back to try and save the tank, but there's just no way. They both get taken out by the RPG. As you can see, some are spawning on deployment, coming in at Amtrak. They're going to bail out here and try and move on foot. We've got, as you can see, there's one below moving up there. Ruther's still operating. He's still getting those RPG shots in. They're all spawning on the left there. They're coming around to try and flank Ruther here. Ruther did really well here, but he gets taken out here. Just because there's just no way. There's too many of them. And they begin a firefight here as they're trying to clear the area, but then the terrorists are not letting them pass. They've got them on the ropes. They're down to infantry. They're on a relatively level playing field now. Connors and Ace are trying to move up here, while Beast and his squad are trying to hold and try and regroup, and then they're going to try and make the push for Delta on foot. But at the moment they're more concerned of not dying and trying to hold the area. You gotta watch out for those. That ambush back there was well planned, well executed. They knew what they were doing, and they did it relatively quickly. I think maybe Connors should have concentrated more on getting out of the way of the danger than engaging and neutralizing it. But here they take the risky decision of going across that pass, which is relatively open, so they don't have too much cover, and that's going to lead to serious problems for them. But yeah, they're getting the fire on. They're doing not too bad here, but they really need to be pushing up more. They need to be pushing up a lot faster here. Ruther and his guys are spawning in on Delta and trying to push up again here and getting the fire. Messy's doing well with that M60, getting the picks on there. I swim around here so you can see a better camera angle on it. But yeah, they really need to be pushing up much quicker than this. They're sitting around in that open area, and it's not good. I think if they pushed up a lot quicker, they probably could have made it, but they just need to push up so much faster. But I will admit the fact that Ruther's guys do a very good job here, though. They know exactly what they're doing. I don't think Ruther's guys do a very good job. I don't think they did the perfect job, because they don't get the complete clear. But they do a very good job. They do their job of repelling the enemy and keeping them off their objective and making them fall back. But as you can see here, they're trying to push, but they're getting in a firefight, and Connors and his guys just don't have the cover. They've got those big buildings and the crates they can hide behind. They've already got the support gunner up there. You can see him laying some serious fire there from Messi. It's just he really needed to flank more around. If he'd gone across to those fuel tanks up the top left there and gone around there and around the loading crates, he could have probably pushed around and flanked him and got a foothold in. But here his foothold is built on sand basically. There's that one rock, but besides that there's not much cover else. So his guys are trying to get some fire down, but they're just getting too much suppressed. I mean, there's rubber there behind that. There's got rubber there behind that rock. They've got support gunners in the building. Ace gets some good hits in. Rubber managed to nail Connors, but they're just coming in. They're seriously doing the damage. They're just, as you can see here, there's 2 guys left. They're going to try and push up a bit more, but they're just being flanked now here. They just don't have the cover that they need to make that push. They just can't engage. Well, they can engage, but they're not going to win unless they've got some. Unless there is skill in this, but the fact of the matter is that you need to get that cover, or else you're just not. You can't compete against people that are good as well, well skilled, and have better cover. There's just no way you can compete there. So they're doing a valiant effort, but there's just, as you can see, you get guys right round behind them. There's no way they can possibly win this one. It's at this point they've unless they did get some serious tactics and regroup and get some serious pushes on here, on those guys that are flanking, and get some serious fire on them, they're just not going to be able to pull this off. So they get some guys around the back there pushing in, but they do clear some of these guys up very well. But then they need to really, like, Connors and Ace should have moved across and regrouped with Beast Boy here and made the flank push. But they left it a little too late maybe here, and Connors and Ace tries to push around this side, and they're not watching their flanks. Like Ace there wasn't watching where the side there, and I mean Razor did just RPG Connors, which was completely unnecessary, but oh well. But yeah, it's just like Beast, and I can see there's one guy up there around the top that's trying to flank, but he's doing the job all alone. He Delta there, he was doing the push all alone. He needed that support, and the guys are just they're playing too defensively. They need to be pushing more. They need to be getting that fire down, get into cover, try and really move and make things happen basically, because they can try and sit down and move up slowly and outskill them, which in some instances does work very well. But in this instance with these guys, they're moving so much faster. They're moving into cover. They're just getting the fire down, getting them fire down, pin them down, flank them, just take them out, and they just can't compete at the moment. I mean, they've fallen back now. Connors and his guys have to fall back. They're playing more. They're going to go into a defensive role here, so the objective's basically been lost. But yeah, they're trying to get back. They're getting fire from Rubber and his guys. They're really pounding it out. As you can see there, Splinter Squid goes flying in the air, lands down about 50 meters from where he originally was, which I thought was very impressive. But yeah, they just I think at this point they've lost. They're playing more defensively. They're coming back around. I think they could have maybe formed up and gone around for a flank push, and maybe left Ace and Connors to distract them or something, while Beast guys come around. But they're just playing defensive. They decide to fall back to the FOB here, and pull out and just generally try and lick their wounds and try and see if they can't get some serious try and survive basically, because they're rather than his guys are pushing. You can see there top of the screen, you can see some guys flanking around Beast and his guys. Ace is down now. Connors is trying to pull out. They're getting serious fire on the construction building. Beast and his guys have to watch their back or they're going to get shot down. but yeah, they're all falling back to the FOB, and I think that's really when they knew that they weren't really going to win this. I mean, Connors after this, I didn't show you the complete film, but after this, Connors does go round and does get to the objective, but you know, but at that point it was just him, and I mean, if he'd gone with his squad, you know, but at this stage, you know, Rother and his guys really had, like, you know, won. Basically, they'd done their job. They completely. I think if the Rother and his guys had, you know, pushed up a bit more, they would have got a complete wipe. But they know they don't have to necessarily get the complete wipe. They know that all they have to do is hold the area, and generally they'll be all right. But Rother and his guys, they still think that they're in the construction building, so they spend a lot of time moving up and clearing the construction building, which is good tactics. But I probably wouldn't have sacrificed as many people as they did for pushing up. Like, they've got one guy there in the construction building across from them, and I would have thought that guy probably would have told Rother, and they would have known that they were there and try and push up, and maybe send a couple of guys to make sure they still weren't in the construction building. But yeah, generally at this point, everyone, you know, General Connors' guys are holding up, Rother's guys are pushing up a bit, but yeah, generally this game's over about now. Obviously we can learn from this, the fact that, you know, this is just my personal opinion. These are the things that I've, you know, said that I think Rother's guys did well. Maybe work on a bit more on, you know, maybe work a bit more on making sure that you get that flanking in earlier, and really making sure that you know, get in there fast, because obviously in this game you can spawn on the squad leaders, so you can get whole squads back up in seconds. So they maybe, but generally I think they did well. Connors and the guys put a valiant fight, but I think they need to work on a few more things. But yeah, generally I think that went well. You know, not well for Rother and his guys, but I think generally that was a very educational training game. We hope to do some more of these soon. I'll be bringing you in, doing some more videos soon. Battlefield Milsim ones. We did another one after this. I'm not sure if I'm going to upload or not, because it wasn't particularly interesting. But I've got some other videos like that coming up. I've also got Xbox One videos I'm thinking about starting to do. I might do Milsim on Xbox One by getting the BF4. I still haven't decided whether I'm going to get BF4 on Xbox One yet, but I was really considering it. But yeah, more Milsim videos soon. I'll see you later.